Hello, Convention of State supporters. My name is Whitney Taylor. I am joined by Andrew Rudolph once again, my wonderful co-host. Andrew, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing fantastic, Whitney. Thank you for asking. Happy to be here with the dynamic duo, you and I. Always a pleasure being here with you. And how are you doing today?
I am great. Me and Andrew were just talking before the broadcast that we are still in the hundreds here in the Southwest. So we're both bonding over the fact that autumn has not hit where we are and just dreaming of fall and colder weather. So we're both in it together. It's all good. Y'all who are enjoying the fall time, we're jealous and please enjoy it for us. We are very excited about today's broadcast. The first presidential debate between Joe Biden and President Donald Trump is tonight, and record viewership is expected. But did you know that only 56% of eligible Americans voted in the 2016 election? That's kind of a crazy number. So we're going to be interviewing Rita Dunaway to find out what the Convention of States Foundation is doing to get more voters and actually have engaged citizens across the country. So we're going to be talking to her about that. I'm very excited to talk about that. I think it's a very appropriate time to discuss that. Election season is right around the corner. It is right. We're almost smack dab in the middle of it. As soon as this debate happens, I'm pretty sure it's going to feel like actually real. It's going to be pretty fun. And our predictions for tonight's debate, we're going to be discussing that as well near the end of the show. But of course, we have our Article 5 trivia giveaway with Mike Ruthenberg himself. Mike, please take it away.
Thanks, Whitney and Andrew. Wow, what a great show it's going to be having the guest Rita Dunaway on. She's our national legislative strategist. She is involved in so many things in Convention of States. You're definitely going to want to be involved in this broadcast and listen really closely. Not only is she an eloquent speaker, but some of the ideas and programs that she puts into place are amazing. She's going to talk about Circle of 10. And if you don't know what it is, you want a quick little preview, you can go to Circle of 10, the number 10, .vote. Another thing that Rita is responsible for is the topic of our trivia question today. And of course, I want to show you the prize. This is a beautiful gray Convention of States t-shirt. It has the COS logo on the back as well. This one's big. It's a XL. So if you want a night shirt or if you want to just fill it out, that's awesome. And you could win this by being the person that answers our question, our trivia question today. And it has to do with proving a Convention of States actually works. And back in 2016, if you were involved with Convention of States, in September 21st it started, I remember because I was there. It was this program that was so largely put on by Rita Dunaway. It was a historic first ever simulation of an actual Convention of States. We went so far as to get representatives, either sitting or past representatives from all 50 states there in order to make this happen. And the question is, where did this happen? That's our trivia question. Where did the first ever simulation of a Convention of States happen? And if you're the one who gets that, you'll get the shirt. And when I come back, I'll tell you a little bit more about the significance of why that was super important. In the meantime, stay tuned because you're going to want to hear every minute of what is certainly becoming a memorable and fantastic show. See you soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mike. All right, now I'm going to welcome Rita Dunaway, who is the National Legislator Director for the Convention of States. Rita, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited to ask you some questions. And I know you're very busy all the time, so we are very honored that you would spend time with us this evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I am enjoying that fall weather that you were praying for here in Virginia. It's very fall-like today, and it is lovely. But thanks for having me on this show. It's fun.
Yes, absolutely. It's in the developed world for any country, which is not something to be proud of. So what is Convention of States doing to help change that in this next election?
Yeah, well, you're right. The 56% voter turnout, especially for a presidential election, is just really awful. No one is proud of that. It's terrible. We all want to see a good voter turnout because that is one of the indicia of self-governing citizens, right? As we go to the polls and we vote on election day. So what we're doing is the Convention of States Foundation has started this initiative this year. It's a brand new thing for us, and it's called the Circle of 10 program. And the idea is for us to help our grassroots army all across the country to take their civic duty to the next level. You know, we know that our grassroots army is going to get out there and vote on election day. But this is designed to help them go the next step by getting the people in their circle of family and friends to vote, to teach them how to get registered if they're not already registered, and to help them do that, and then to follow up with them and give them reminders along the way, all the way up into election day. So that's what it's all about. We're really excited about it. Like I said, it's a brand new program. So there will be a learning process for us, and we're excited to see how it rolls out and to see volunteers in every state in the nation take part in this.
That's just awesome that we are, as an organization, that we are now doing this. But my question would be, why are we doing this now? Because COS has always encouraged the supporters to participate in the political process, to always do their civic duty and get out and vote in every election, not just the presidential elections. But this now has the backing of like organization. It's like a campaign. So because we're actually asking people to contact 10 of their friends or family members and then log that contact for this get out the vote effort. So this is going to make a real difference in 2020, right?
I believe that it really will. And, you know, you say, why now? Why are we putting this structure behind it? In the past, we've always encouraged our grassroots army to go to the polls and to vote. Of course, that's a no-brainer. But what we've learned is, you know, what the old adage says, what gets measured gets done. So this year, we are taking this to a new level by actually measuring the activities of our grassroots who sign up to participate in the Circle of 10 program. And here's the thing, like I said before, we know that our volunteers across the country will be voting because that's who we are as Convention of States. We are active, self-governing citizens, and we are engaged in all of these processes that keep our republic strong. But what's different is that we're asking them to contact people in their circle who might not be inclined to vote for whatever reason. You know, maybe they have family and friends who are just disillusioned with politics. We know a lot of people are. There are a lot of reasons to be that way. And so maybe they are really just tempted to sit this one out and stay home. Maybe they are people who, you know, could be Republicans, but they're not Trump fans, or maybe they're just people who aren't happy with either of the two choices, and so they're tempted to stay home. A little bit of encouragement for those people from someone that they know and trust will go a long way. Also, I want to remind you that 44 states have state legislative elections on election day this year. And so that's another reason why we cannot be sitting out. We need to be doing everything we can do to get all of our friends and families engaged in this election.
100%. And what you said really hit home with me, because I know a lot of my friends, at least, are just frustrated with politics at all because it's so divisive and you feel alienated if you choose a side. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people are discouraged because of that, and they don't even like have any motivation at all to go to the polls. And I'm worried that if we didn't have this in place, that even our voting record, like I've known the people who actually show up to vote will even be less than last election cycle, just because people are even more, you know, alienated than ever before. So I think this is absolutely perfect. This is exactly what we need, I think. And making sure that our friends are registered to vote is just a small part of what it means to be a self-governing citizen. And how does this tie into the mission of the Convention of States? Because you serve as a legislative director for a Convention of States, which is no small role at all. So how does this help us with state legislators who will consider our resolution to propose term limits, fiscal restraints, and just limits on federal power?
Well, Whitney, I'm so glad you asked that question because I'm excited to answer it. You know, I used to think when I first got started in talking to state legislators and trying to get them to be interested in supporting Convention of States, I used to think that if I made a strong argument and it was logical, it had history to back it up, I used to think that's the way I was going to win legislators over. And that is true some of the time. There are those legislators who are just, you know, wholly convinced based on logic and history and the obvious need to rein in the federal government. But the truth that I found as I have worked on this over the years is that there are many more legislators who are much more easily swayed by a show of political strength. They want to see if the Convention of States movement has some political muscle behind it. And we do. We know we do. We have an incredibly strong grassroots army, you know, 4.5 plus million strong across the country. So we know the strength is there, but we need to be able to show the legislators that our people are engaged and involved. And I'll remind you one more time in conjunction with this question that there are 44 states out there that have state legislative elections this year. Those state legislators in those 44 states are really interested to see who is turning out people to vote on election day. So it's really important to our legislative efforts that all of our people get involved and that they get their people involved.
Oh, that's awesome. And since we're talking about state legislators and state legislatures, do we have any states right now in 2020 that are poised to possibly pass the Article 5, our Article 5 application?
We have 2 states that are still active and in play for 2020, and those are Michigan and Pennsylvania. Those are 2 of our states that have legislatures that meet pretty much year-round, so they behave a little bit differently than most of the states that have shorter sessions. And yes, we do have active resolutions in both Michigan and Pennsylvania, and I am watching those states very closely.
Excellent. Any hope that either one might be number 16? Any hope?
I think so. I don't want to give too much away, but yes, I definitely have hopes. I'd love to see one of those states become number 16 before 2020 is over. And yes, I think it's possible.
I love to hear it. Boy, that would be the perfect way to end 2020. Let's cross our fingers and toes. That'd be so great. We have a little video about the Circle of 10 project with a message from COS President Mark Meckler himself. So go ahead and take a look.
Hey everyone, Mark Meckler here for the Convention of States Project, and I want to talk to you a little bit about voting in 2020. Now, I'm not here just to encourage you to vote because I know you're going to vote. You're just like me, you and I are into it, and we're definitely going to cast our vote. Might surprise you to know that 56% of eligible voters didn't vote in 2016, and that puts us way down near the bottom of developed countries as far as voter participation. Well, at Convention of States, you know how we are. When we see a problem, we want to fix the problem. We don't just want to complain about it. So what we've done is we've started the Circle of 10 initiative to encourage you to find 10 of your friends who you might not know if they're going to vote. We want you to encourage them to get registered and to vote. First, sign up. Second, contact your circle members. Third, log your contacts. Fourth, follow up. Fifth, the final push. This is where the rubber really hits the road. Go to circleof10.vote and get signed up today. That's Circle of 10. Use the number 10. Circleof10.vote and get signed up today.
All right, that was just an amazing video from Mark Meckler. Can you just tell us one more time, where can our viewers go if they want to participate? If they happen to have missed it, where can they go to participate in the Circle of 10?
It's circleof10.vote, and that is the number 10, circleof10.vote. And all of the instructions are there for you. As we just saw in the video, there are step-by-step instructions for what to do. We've tried to make it really easy, and I'm really excited to see how many of you who are watching tonight are going to go on after the program and sign up. Let's do it.
Yes, absolutely. I highly recommend everybody participate. It's a great exercise. But before we leave, I think it's a very important thing that I ask Miss Rita about your opinion on what's going to be happening on the debate this evening. Do you have any predictions, any thoughts? What do you think?
Okay, I only have one prediction. I predict that the Republicans will claim that the Republican candidate wins, and the Democrats will claim that the Democrat candidate wins. And there will be lots of weeping and gnashing of teeth, no matter what.
Yes, absolutely. That's a very safe prediction. I think that's 100%.
I was thinking the same thing.
Safe and diplomatic, right?
Yes, absolutely. Rita, thank you so much for your time and all your insight. We'll definitely have you back on. You're a wealth of knowledge, so thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, now we have Mike Ruthenberg with the Article 5 trivia answer for y'all.
I'm back. Thanks so much. I hope that the show has lived up to the hype that I gave it early on. I hope you're really excited to get involved in Circle of 10. And I hope you are also the one that won this incredible t-shirt. And remember, we have lots of shirts in our store. So if you didn't win, you can go to conventionofstates.com/store and get it. And you can order a shirt and have it sent right to you. But in the meantime, I want to tell you the answer to our trivia question. And the question, if you weren't around earlier, was we, Convention of States, hosted the first ever simulated Convention of States, and we did it in very, very real fashion. We brought in 150 legislators. Every single state was represented in the union at this simulated convention. The location was the question. And the answer to that is we held it in a very historic place, and that was Colonial Williamsburg, Virginia. And if you've never been to Colonial Williamsburg, what a great place. It's where so many of our founding fathers met and discussed about building our Constitution. What a great place to go and to be. And that's the answer to our trivia question. And again, I hope that you are a winner. Unfortunately, there's only one. But it's more important to know that we did this simulation to show that it actually works. We solicited some input from our supporters, and the supporters' input was brought to these committees. They were all broken into committees, and we came up with actually 8 of these potential amendments to the Constitution. Only 6 of them passed out, just like in real life, from this convention. So we came out with 6. You can go to conventionofstates.com. You can look up the historic simulation and take a look at what we did, take a look at some of the amendments that came from there. Not that we're necessarily promoting that these are the amendments, because we think that whatever convention happens, we should have those people discuss what amendments at the time will be popular enough to pass ratification by 3/4 of our states. Well, that's our trivia question for the day. I will turn it back over to Whitney and Andrew to wrap this thing up. Thanks for listening, and I hope you are the winner.
All right, Mike, thank you so much. All right, before we sign off, I want to hear Andrew's predictions about the debate tonight. Do you have anything to say about it? How do you feel about it? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think it's going to be a very entertaining night. I actually have a debate bingo that I'll be playing, so that's going to be fun. That'll make all of the mudslinging and all of the breaking of decorum when it comes to debates much more tolerable, I think. So at least I'm going to have some fun with it. My prediction is this is going to be a mudsling match for the ages, and that the media are going to do what they do best, and they are going to retreat to their corners. And like Rita was saying, the Republicans will say their candidate did better than the Democrat candidate, and the Democratic media sources will say their candidate did better. and they'll be gnashing of teeth, as Rita said. I want to hear your prediction, Whitney. What do you predict is going to happen tonight?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's going to be insane no matter what happens. I think it's going to be really entertaining, like you said. I'm actually going to a watch party tonight to watch it.
Ooh, fun.
So I know. So I'm actually going to be pretty excited to see what it's about. I don't know. I feel like it's just going to be crazy. I honestly think it's just going to be a very entertaining night. So hopefully it all just goes smoothly. We actually hear some substance from both of them. I would be really impressed if I heard substance from both sides, if you know what I'm saying. So we'll see what happens. But I don't know. As you all are probably, we are all just very frustrated with corrupt politicians. But most Americans don't know what they can do to change it. But here at COS, we definitely have a plan, and we are active in every single legislative district across the nation. So if you want to get involved and in your local team, be a volunteer or sign up as a leader, we would highly recommend you do that. Also, really appreciate it. So we need more boots on the ground in every state, no matter if it's passed or not. So if you want to get involved, we have a position available for you. Go to www.conventionstates.com to join your local team, sign the petition if you have not already, and just get involved in the movement.
That's right. And make sure that you are also following us on social media. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Parler. You're already following us on Facebook, so that's great. Make sure you go get the other places as well. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube, and then share, like, tell your friends, participate in the Circle of 10, obviously, and then make sure that you show up Sunday nights here on Facebook for Mark Meckler's Battle Cry. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Please make sure to show up for that. It's phenomenal. And then also, we will see you next Tuesday for another edition of Facebook Live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. But until then, we have a country to save, so it's time for us to get back to work.